Here we are. We're live with Daton Fix. Daton, nice to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Uh, so you're out in Oklahoma. I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania. I haven't followed your career that closely, but what I have noticed is that you seek out tough competition. You're not afraid to travel, and you're really committed to the sport. You got a style kind of very unique to yourself. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, if you were just going to introduce yourself to everybody, tell me a little bit.
Uh, well, just the way I wrestle is I just try to go out there and score as many points as I can, and the object of wrestling is to score as many points as possible or get a fall. So that's what I try to do every time I walk out there.
I like the
And
aggressive attitude.
I love wrestling the best guys. That's when wrestling's the most fun, is whenever you're wrestling someone that's just as good as you are, and you guys are just out there scrapping.
I'm going to come back to that and ask you about your mindset. But can you take me back to when did you start wrestling?
I actually didn't start until like 5th grade.
Nice.
So
Okay.
not a whole like a long time ago, but my dad he wrestled Oklahoma State, and I've had all my family on both sides have wrestled, so he didn't want me to get real burnt out, and so he waited until I wanted to wrestle, and whenever I said I wanted to go, he let me start wrestling.
So you decided when you were fifth grade. What's that? Maybe 11. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, like 11, 12,
11,
right
12.
around there.
And you'd been exposed to wrestling at that point.
Yeah, he was an official, and he officiated the NCAAs once, and then he stopped because I started wrestling. But whenever he would take me to officiate, I would sit right on the side of the mat and watch. And I asked him what I should watch for. Yeah, I asked him what I should watch for. He just said, just watch the guys that get their hand raised and do what they do.
Gotcha.
So that's what I did. I just watched them.
Were you good right off the bat, or did your dad let you struggle, or?
I mean, I was never real bad, but I took some losses my first year, and then I learned pretty quickly though.
So when would you say? How old were you when you took it seriously?
Well, the summer after 6th grade, I started wrestling freestyle, and that's whenever I really started improving.
Okay.
That's what helped me a lot.
Was your dad your primary coach?
Yeah, he's coached me for as long as I can remember.
Okay. What's your relationship with your dad like? Father son, coach son can be kind of whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I like that my dad's my coach. I think it's awesome because he's always right there with me, and he's not the same guy as he is in the room whenever we're just at the house. He'll leave it in the room, so that's good. And
that's great.
Yeah.
So your dad wrestled at OSU. You started, relatively. I don't want to say it's late, but maybe that's more of a European approach. The Russians and the Iranians don't start until they're probably 10, somewhere around there. We've talked a little bit about your, liking competing against the best guys, and you're traveling, your cadets, challenging trials, all this stuff. You had a big win over Spencer Lee last year. What is your mental approach to wrestling when you're coming in? How do you deal with the pressure? Do you pay attention to outside pressure or press clippings, or is it just all you?
I look at pressure as something that you put on yourself. So if you don't put any pressure on yourself, then there's nothing there. You just got to go out there and have fun. And that's what I do. I just try to go out there and have fun.
So when
a lot of points on the board.
So when you're going to wrestle, who's number one, or against Spencer Lee at the cadet, was it the finals?
It was in the finals of the cadet trials.
No pressure, just going out there to have fun?
Yeah, just going out there and wrestling. That's when it's the most fun.
So are you thinking when you're going out there, or is it just like you're warmed up and you're just flowing? Is that your dad?
Yeah, he just...
Are you... So when you're warm, so how do you get into the zone? Is it just an intense warm up and then you're just flowing, or you're thinking about things while you're warming up? Or?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about just wrestling. Just like get a good drill in, listen to some music, then I'll probably go a couple hard goes right before I get done warming up, and then I'm ready to go.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Just whatever's like popular at the time.
Okay. So you don't really feel the pressure is what you're telling me? You just enjoy the competition?
Yeah, I love competition. That's I just look at competition as if no matter what happens in the match, I'm gonna get better. If I'm wrestling someone that's good.
So, are you competitive in other sports or other things? Piano,
Uh,
flute, or
Whenever I was growing up, I played a bunch of different sports, and I've always been competitive. I don't like to lose in anything. If it's a video game or if I'm playing tic-tac-toe with my little brother, and I love winning. So
okay. What other sports did you play growing up?
I played baseball, football. I've run cross country before. I've done that's those were the main sports I did.
Okay. So as you're developing, when did you kind of, a little bit of a showmanship, you do a little jump, a roll, just things like that. When did that start coming into your repertoire?
I actually just the first time I did it was at Who's Number One.
That was it? That was so I got to see that was the first time?
Yeah, that was the first time I did it, and I was at the World Championships in Las Vegas, and I saw someone do it from I don't know where it's from, but I just thought it was pretty cool, and that's just something that I could do.
Yeah, it catches people off guard because everybody's real intense, and it was just kind of like a little. It wasn't lighthearted, but it was just out of the ordinary.
Yeah, some people look at wrestling and they look at them as like robotic and they're always stiff, and I just wanted to kind of show that we can have fun too, no matter what.
So you've talked about being loose, having fun, loving the competition. What's driving you? Like, what is it about the wrestling that makes you feel that way?
I love winning, so I love getting my hand raised. That's what drives me to.
All right. So whether it's tic-tac-toe or wrestling, it's just about the winning. That's it? Feels good?
Yeah, I love winning.
Okay. Well, that's better than not liking it. Growing up in Oklahoma, you've won several state championships. You've traveled all over the country, really, to compete successfully. Can you tell me a little bit about Oklahoma wrestling, the state level of wrestling, what the quality is, about your team?
Yeah, Oklahoma wrestling. We just won the last 2 years. We won the junior national duels and freestyle. So Oklahoma wrestling's really good right now, and I've been training with some good guys these past couple years, and that's really helped me a lot too. One of my like training partners is his name's Caden Gefeller. And he's a 3-time state champion as well, and we haven't gotten beat in high school, so that's pretty awesome. We're best friends, and we're always talking, and we get together and work out as much as we can.
Nice. So you're at that level. When you're on the cadet world team, it's kind of like a dream team, really. I mean, it was an all-star team of wrestlers. Can you talk about mixing it up with those guys? What do you learn? Is there pollination that goes back and forth and going to the Olympic Training Center? Can you talk a little bit about being in a high-level high school wrestler?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, when I was up there, I was wrestling. I got to roll around with Jordan Burroughs, win a couple live goes with Reese Humphrey. So I was going with the guys that were on the senior world team, just rolling around and getting the feel for them. And that was just something that really helped me improve while I was up there.
So is it the exposure to these guys? Is it the technique they're telling you? Or is it secrets they're sharing? Or is it just all of it?
I think it's just the exposure, just wrestling the good guys. I think that's, if you want to get really good at wrestling, you got to wrestle the best guys, and that's what I try to do.
Gotcha. Did Jordan Burroughs tweet out that you kicked his butt, or was it nothing
I don't
like
think
that?
he said anything about it.
Nothing like that. So you got a core group of guys in Oklahoma, really good right now. The high school wrestling is really, it's on fire right now. It seems from a distance. Are you planning to go to college? Are you planning maybe a non-traditional approach to your senior level wrestling?
No, I'm gonna go to college. I want to win college national titles, and that's definitely one of my goals. As well as being an Olympic champion.
Okay.
I think that's a stepping stone to becoming an Olympic champion.
True. And do you have those goals written down somewhere?
Yeah, I have them written down.
How often do you see them?
I'll look at them every day if I can.
I mean, they're on a mirror in your bathroom, or are they in your wallet, or where do you keep them?
Yeah, they're on my phone. So if I'm just going to look, they're in my notes. So if I'm going to look at a password or something, then I'll scroll right past them when I'm reading them.
Nice. So what are your goals for the next 10 years? National championship, Olympic championship, what else? Do you have small goals along the way?
No, just as long as I'm winning those big things, then I think if I take a loss within that time, then it's going to help me because I'm going to learn from it. So as long as I'm wrestling the best competition and just learning from it, then I think I'll be all right.
Speaking of competition, what's coming up next for you over the spring summer?
In next month, I'm wrestling in the Junior Nationals in Vegas. It's the freestyle tournament.
Yep.
And that's the tournament. I went there last year, and I was still a cadet, and I wrestled up in the juniors, and I wrestled some really good guys, and I came out on top. So that was awesome to do that.
Nice. So does that lead to Texas, or is that different?
Yeah, if you win that, then you're in the finals of the Junior World Team Trials. So that would be in Texas.
Gotcha. And you are actually old enough now, or like the average age of a junior?
Yeah, this would be my first year as a junior.
First year, and then the goal is to be in France in August.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the goal.
Any other competitions besides that freestyle? And you're going only freestyle, correct?
Yeah, just freestyle.
Okay. Anything else going on?
No, just training.
All right. Now, have you decided on a school? Do you have a small list of schools you're interested in?
I mean, right now I'm just focused on wrestling and getting better. I mean, the schools that want me, they're gonna be there for me whenever I'm ready to commit somewhere.
You're a junior this year?
Yeah, so I still have another year.
So when will you make an announcement?
Probably next fall.
So November?
Yeah.
Is that the end of the verbal commitment period?
Yeah, sometime around then.
Do you have a small list of schools you can tell me about, or you don't care?
Yeah, I'm looking at like Oklahoma State, Nebraska, Ohio State, just those type of schools.
Okay. Is your dad giving you any pressure?
No.
Was he? Go ahead.
He wants me to make sure. He wants me to look at different things, look at different options.
Okay.
Because I've grown up around here, and I know what Oklahoma State's like. So he just wants me to go make sure that I'm not missing out on anything anywhere else.
Was your dad John Smith's roommate?
No, they wrestled on the same college team though.
Same team. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned 3 teams. Looking at making an announcement in November. You'll be going back for how many? So have you won? How many state titles have you won? 3.
Yeah, I've won 3 state titles.
So this year you're going back for your senior year. Did it cross your mind to skip your senior year and go to the training center?
Not really.
No.
I feel like I've been there for 3 years, and I want to go win a 4th state title.
And it sounds like you got a tight group of guys.
Yeah, we got a good team. I think we've been 3rd in the state, 2nd in the state, so I really want to win a team state title. And
Gotcha.
I feel like I can help out a lot.
Now, I've seen a couple of your matches online. I've seen you wrestle in person a couple times. To me, it looks like you got a tremendous gas tank. Keep going, keep going. Can you tell me about where are you drawing? Because it looks you're wrestling hard, and your gas tank just never seems to run empty. Where does that come from? Where's that mental toughness come from?
It's just a lot of heart. I think growing up, whenever I was playing football or baseball, we would run sprints at the end of practice. I'd want to win every sprint, and I think that's really helped me because I run a lot to keep my shape up, and that's something that I do. But I just feel like I keep an edge over people.
Do you win every sprint when you want to?
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I'm pretty fast, so.
I'm just curious. I mean, I know a lot of guys, they try, they're not that quick, but it's the mentality of wanting to win, even though they're not the quickest guy in the team, that sharpens their steel blade. So I was just curious if you do. I mean, do you win 90% of the sprints, 60%?
Yeah, I win at least 90% of the sprints.
Do you?
Maybe more than that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So does it ever cross your mind when because it seems like you're wrestling 100%, 6 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Or more. How long? What's your longest match? What was that time?
I don't really know how long it was. I think it was like 33 minutes.
It was a long match with Suriano, right? I mean, that was ridiculous. One of the best matches I've ever seen. Did you ever think about getting tired during that match?
No, I think we were just wrestling so hard that we didn't even have a real chance to think about how long we've been wrestling. We just kept going.
It's funny because a lot of people was like, oh, that's inhumane. But you wrestle that hard in practice, right? I mean,
yeah, you'll go that long in practice. Practices are an hour, 2 hours long, so you're wrestling that long in the room.
Exactly.
Why not do it real live match.
So let that be a lesson to kids. Work hard at practice, makes the matches easier. Young wrestlers, have your goals. You read media about yourself when Flo puts you as a top 10 guy, or you get any kind of press clippings about your national or statewide wrestling?
Yeah, I'll look at some of them. I mean, I don't they don't mean a whole lot. I mean, they mean something, but I'm not gonna let it go to my head. But I'm still gonna go out there every match and wrestle like I did before.
So when you're in the top 10, at Flo, how do you keep that from going to your head?
I just know that anything can happen when you're out there in the mat. I mean, you can watch the NCAA tournament this last week, and there was all kinds of upsets everywhere. So you got to go out there every match and wrestle it.
So you were in New York. You were in New York watching, right?
Yeah, I was watching in New York.
Probably the most exciting NCAA finals I've seen. What were your thoughts on the entire championship?
It takes guts to win an NCAA title. That's a real tough tournament. Every guy you have is gonna be tough. You're not gonna have a real easy match, especially if you're at a lower weight. So all those guys can just scrap.
Yeah.
So you gotta be ready every time you step out there.
Do you visualize yourself out there? Do you think, man, these guys are? I mean, like, what's your approach? Do you admire what they're doing, or do you see yourself? I'm going to be out there soon.
Yeah, I see myself out there. Last year I was wishing I was out there. Now I went back and I had to watch it again, and now I was just thinking that I have to go back another year and wait a whole another year till I get to wrestle there. So I've been waiting to wrestle there, and I just can't wait till I'm finally there.
Are there any guys at that level or on the international scene that you really admire? Enjoy watching their technique or anything about them, their mental toughness, their approach. Who are the guys that you like watching?
I mean, I think everybody likes watching Jordan Burroughs.
Of course,
he's explosive and he's fun to watch. And he's got a big heart, and if he's behind, he's still going to come after you. And I really like that about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's really evolved. Maybe he was a little more dynamic when he was younger. Not that he's old, but boy, his mental toughness at the last World Championships really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you enjoy watching, or that you watch film of when you're training?
I just enjoy watching people that win.
Yeah.
I try to get something out of, because if you're winning, then you're doing something right. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you're wrestling. At the junior level, going to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Going to Dallas, hopefully going to Paris. Where is it in France?
I'm not sure where it is in France. I just know it's.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's in Paris.
Yeah.
Going back for your senior season, you'll make an announcement about where you're going to go sometime before November, and what are your goals for? Are you training exclusively freestyle this summer?
Yeah, just freestyle. I'm going to try to go win a world title. That's the goal for this summer.
That's the goal for this summer. How easy is it for you to go back and forth between freestyle and folk style?
I mean, it's all wrestling. The freestyle just on your feet, and I love being on my feet. So I like freestyle more than I like collegiate.
You do?
Yeah.
I mean,
I really love whenever freestyle season comes around.
Most guys dig it. The explosive, neutral position attacks. Tell me what's your mindset when you switch back and forth? Do you just think, I've done this before, it's not a problem? Or do you think, I'd rather be wrestling free?
Yeah, I mean, I think the transition from freestyle back to folk style is harder than the transition from folk style to freestyle.
Why is that?
Because, I mean, whenever you go from freestyle to folk style, you got to start wrestling on the mat again. And so you got to get off bottom. You can't just defend the turn. Yeah, so that's a big difference.
Nice. All right. Is there anybody that you are looking forward to wrestling this year? I know that you seek out a lot of tough competition, so that's why I ask you.
Yeah, I want to wrestle Stefan Micic again, because I wrestled him in the finals of the Junior World Team Trials last year.
Yeah.
We had 2 tight matches, and I won it. I won in Vegas, and he won both matches at the trials, and then he went on to get a bronze medal at the Junior World Championship. So that's someone that I really want to wrestle.
Nice.
And I mean, I'll wrestle whoever wants to wrestle. If they're ready to wrestle me, then I'm ready to wrestle them.
Gotcha.
If they're going to be at my weight, then I'll be ready.
Has anybody invited you to the I don't know what they're calling it, but the Times Square wrestling.
I think I've heard something about it. It's like the tournament where there was a bunch of people from overseas coming to it.
Well, yeah, last year it was America versus Cuba. This year it's America versus Iran. They usually include
Yeah.
a couple high school seniors. I'm just curious if anybody invited you.
No, not for that.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to tell your wrestling fans out there?
I mean, if you're a little kid watching, then just keep working hard in the room and try to wrestle the best guys. That's what's really helped me improve over the past couple of years. Just go out. Even if you have to drive a couple hours to find the best guys and do it, because it'll be worth it.
Just speaking about little guys getting discouraged, how do you approach that? You seek somebody out, like my own son, right? He's been wrestling for a year, and he went into a room and started wrestling the Ohio State champ and a guy who's been wrestling 5 years. It was a little discouraging for him. How do you work through that as a kid?
It's different for me because I didn't really wrestle when I was too young, so I was already a fifth grader going on sixth grader. So, but if you just got to keep your head up. I mean, you know that it doesn't matter who wins one go whenever you're 10 years old in the room.
Yeah.
It just matters that you're getting your hand raised 10 years from then and whenever you're wrestling for a world title.
Right. Well, look, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll be watching you wrestle this summer, and looking forward to seeing you after Paris, okay? Or France, or
All right.
wherever it is. All right. Thanks a lot for the interview.
Yeah.